Hello! I know you can't believe it. I'm indoors. I think every other video that I've done for you, I've been outdoors. I think I've either been in my garden or I've been swimming or cycling or running or, in this amazing weather that we've been having. I'm an outdoorsy type anyway. I don't need much of an excuse to be doing something out in the fresh air, and I've been absolutely loving it. But of course, I'm not outdoors all the time. I'm either working or with family. And actually one of the other things that I really enjoy doing, and certainly have rediscovered this year, is reading. And I generally read things that have been recommended to me. So I think if somebody that I know, love and respect has read something which they have remembered the name of the author and the title of the book, and they can tell me a bit about it and they're excited about it, then that's something that I'd probably like to read too. And there was one book that I don't think I'm being dramatic when I say is life-changing. There's a book that was sent to me by a very good friend, which I read a couple of months ago, and I've just started to reread because it had such an impact on me. And I guess I, being the sort of person who likes a recommendation, thought maybe you would too. And so this is the book. So, Man's Search for Meaning by Viktor Frankl, and it was actually sent to me by my good friend Simon, and for no other reason than actually I had surgery just before we went into lockdown, so I knew I was going to have lots of time at home because I was going to be convalescing, and I think he was thinking, rather than send me flowers, I got lots, thank you to everybody that sent them to me, actually he'd do something different, and I'm so very, very grateful. He sent me this book. And it's actually quite a quick read. It's not particularly long, and it's split into essentially two halves. And it's about Viktor Frankl, who was a prisoner who was at Auschwitz. And the first half of the book is about that story. It's about how he ended up there. It's about his experience there, which actually is hard to read, you can imagine. And I wasn't sure if I was going to love it as much as I did because of that. It's a really interesting story, and it's one that makes you think, and the detail is incredible, but it's actually not massively emotional, and that's the first part. And the second part is actually Viktor Frankl was a doctor, and it's about his learnings about how you learn about yourself, how you find meaning, how you find joy, at a time where actually that might not be an obvious thing to be looking for or to be feeling. And actually it seemed really relevant to talk about this right now, given that, don't get me wrong, I am not saying that what we're going through compares in any way to what he went through, but actually I took an awful lot in terms of learnings from this book. And this is before we went into lockdown, but this was about actually sort of finding joy, finding purpose, finding meaning, ways that you can change how you think and how you see things. And I'm not going to spoil it for you by telling you too much more, other than to say that it's a pretty quick and easy read in terms of the way that it's written. There's some incredible learnings and there's a great story. And actually, if you were looking for any of those things or just a great book to read, this would be my absolute recommendation to you. So there we have it again. And thank you, Si, if you're watching this. Thank you. It's one of the best gifts that I've ever had. That's me over and out for another week.